Alright, Rockers Turbo, back with you here inside the Asylum, and I wish me by phone someone I am very honored to call a friend over and over again, and still the reigning champion in most visits here inside the Asylum by phone. He's a comedian, he's a TV show host, some of you might know him best from that metal show, and now he's tossing in his AC/DC shirt for a pipe and a jacket with padded sleeves to be an author. That is Don Jamieson. What's going on, bud?
You forgot to mention I'm first one inducted into the Turbo Hall of Fame.
Well, Bull Spike Radio Hall of Fame, actually. Yes, that's right. You're also a Bull Spike Radio Hall of Fame member as well. I mean, man, you've got more connections and things to your name than some big wigs, man.
Well, as we all know, and we've talked many times about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they've gotten better over the years, but there's certain halls of fame that mean more than others. So I'm happy to have my place in yours, and glad to be back with you again.
Well, I'm glad to have you back. As always, man, it's always great to get to catch up with you, talk rock and metal and all the good stuff about the music we love. And more importantly, you have taken that love of the music one step further, as if being a member of TV's Metal Three Stooges wasn't enough. You have now become an author with your new book, You Might Be A Metalhead.
Yes, well, because that metal show is up in the air right now, I had a lot of free time in my hands, and I write a lot of jokes about hard rock and metal because it is a genre of music that can lend itself to humor, and I always feel like, musicians and bands, generally have a great sense of humor about themselves, but, these are jokes that I've been collecting, over the last couple of years, and my buddy and fellow metalhead, Joe Bartnick, another great comic, he put his little spin on things, and we just sort of, thought through, like, what is it like to be a metalhead, and, we, kind of borrowed the format from Jeff Foxworthy, You Might Be a Redneck If, and so that's our spin on it, You Might Be a Metalhead If, and, so we put together this joke book, and another buddy of ours did the illustrations, and we have some different lists in there and stuff. So people love lists, and yeah, we finally got this thing out on the market, and so far so good. It's if you're expecting like one of Eddie Trunk's big, giant, thick books, it's not that. It is a joke book. Jeff Foxworthy's book was 77 pages, and it made him a multi-millionaire. This one's 88 pages, so I got to think this will make me at least a billionaire.
Oh, at least, man. I mean, you've got him beat by a good deal, 10 or so pages, so, I mean, that right there says it all, That would be what we would call putting it on the table, to paraphrase from that metal show.
Exactly. Well, like I said, a lot of free time since we last taped the show. So we've all been doing our things, and Jim's been working on his one-man show, and Eddie's working on a third book, which is great, and the three of us are still going out on the road touring. But like I said, in the meantime, put this together. We hit number 6 on the Amazon heavy metal bestsellers. So just want to say a big thanks to everybody who's checked out the book, including you, and I know you actually purchased your copy, so you're a true brother and true metalhead.
Hey man, I was anxiously awaiting it. I normally I'm a physical copy kind of guy, but being the cripple that I am, books and I don't get along very well, so I anxiously awaited the digital copy, which is available now on all outlets. I got mine Sunday night on Amazon, downloaded it as soon as midnight hit, read it in a matter of 20 minutes, and I tell you what, it's worth reading over and over again because Yeah, in a way, there's a lot in this book that many of us in the rock and metal world joke about on a regular basis amongst each other. And I mean, you hit so many of them right, nails right on the head. I mean, they're just priceless in there.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And it's the ebook is it's very reasonably priced, $4.99. Makes a great Mother's Day gift. So if you can't decide what to get Mom, you haven't gotten her something yet. You should pick up You Might Be a Metalhead for her. She may never call you again, but I would appreciate the support.
Yeah, I tell you what, I read through it, and I loved that you guys threw a nod to hockey in the book. So many people, when they do books like this, they go for the fail-safe. They go baseball or they go football. And you guys went for hockey. Now, Don, I know you're a hockey fan. Is that the same for your co-author, Joe Bartnick? And did you guys just say, hey, it's about time hockey got it still?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a New York Ranger fan. He's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. So, we've been going back and forth, the last few weeks. But his team beat mine fair and square in the first round of the playoffs. And yeah, hockey's underground like metal is. So yeah, you always, you try to kind of, throw a bone there, and make sure hockey gets a mention. And, but, again, there's also sport, besides humor and metal going together, sports and metal go together. So yeah, we gave you our top 6 songs that to be heard at a hockey game. So yeah, we kind of combine all 3 worlds in that one.
Great job done there, and you are right. I'm a Ranger fan as well. We did have a very early out this year, and if it wasn't that Bobby Blitz was away on vacation, he'd probably be busting my balls on how fast the Rangers got knocked out, because I gave it to him good when the Devils season ended a few months ago. So there's all love in the world of metal and hockey, and I love, as I said, I love the top 6 lists. Although I was reading the top 6, I believe it's the cannibal themed, and a little
yes, the top six tunes to eat your neighbor to.
Yes, yeah. As I read that and sat there roaring, a part of me's going, "You guys left out Babes for Breakfast from Lordy." Yeah, I mean, I'm like, that is like one of, to me anyway, that should have been at least an honorable mention. I'm like, yeah.
No, I get, yeah. But how beautiful is it that we're actually debating what song should be on a list of songs about cannibalism. I mean, that's the beauty of this music and what we do, and like we're actually debating which songs would be best for cannibals to listen to. So that's the fun thing about the list. It's there's no definitive answer. Just like the TMS top 5s, they always cause a lot of debate and even get some people angry sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's just about being creative, starting a conversation, and sometimes going, you know what, you're right, we forgot the most obvious one. So I tried with the lists in this book to do things that were a little, that we wouldn't have normally done on that metal show. I don't think our producers would have went over with a top 10 or top 5 songs to eat your neighbor to. So we were able to do that in the book and get fun and creative with it.
Right. In addition to that, also the top 6 stripper songs as well. That one is another good one, and I'm quite sure you went back to the 80s and 90s metal scene in Jersey with all the strip clubs that you guys have out there are very friendly to metal back in the day. Or hell, maybe you did some real life scouting while you were writing the book to see what's still being played.
Well, sometimes, when you're an author, you have to, you really have to suffer for your craft. And I just, I made it a goal to visit as many strip clubs in New Jersey as I could while I was writing the book, because I wanted the research to be done properly. And I think for me, this is the definitive list. And if you went to the strip clubs in the late '80s, you're hearing the same songs today than you heard back then. You know, you're always going to hear "Girls, Girls, Girls." You're always going to hear "You Shook Me All Night Long." You're always going to hear "Pour Some Sugar on Me." So it's a good thing nothing's changed, and you know, the prices haven't gone up either, which is nice because I'm unemployed now.
That's one thing that stayed the same. I think the price of music and the price of a lap dance is luckily not gone up with inflation. Other things may come up, but not the price. And,
if it's a good club, absolutely. And, you know, it's funny that it made me really think about this category, because Phil Collin from Def Leppard actually said on that metal show that Pour Some Sugar on Me was not an immediate hit until dancers in Florida started dancing to it. So it just goes to show you don't need, you know, a big record company or marketing executive to, you know, push your single to radio. Just get a bunch of dancers to dance to it in Florida, and then the local DJs start picking it up, and the next thing you know, it becomes their biggest hit. So God bless the girls out there shaking their stuff for us.
Hey, it's either the strip clubs or your girlfriend trying to entertain and get her to dance around on your car, and that'll make you a hit too. Either way, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that was you know, a young metalhead's wet dream was Tawny Katane on the hood of that car, and who didn't want to be the hood of that car back then? So yeah, there's just a lot of great, you know, when you read the book, you get all these great memories from back in the day, and that's what I love about it too, because it was fun for me to go down memory lane and just remember all that stuff. That, you know, shaped me as a metalhead, you know, coming up, especially in the video age.
Right, exactly. You and I love the age when music videos were kind of first introduced and kind of helped to really get everything out there. Kind of the original social media of music. You might even be able to make that argument as well for where music was then compared to where it is now.
Yeah, great comparison, definitely.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I can't help but think maybe if you had delayed the book, instead of There Might Be a Metalhead, if you vomited after seeing Turbo from Judas Priest, I can't help but wonder if maybe that would have been changed to You Vomited after hearing Axl Rose would be fronting AC/DC.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, according to about 7,000 people in, where was it? I just saw that, somewhere in Norway.
Yeah,
that they returned 7,000 tickets, and people, so that's people saying, hey, you know, we don't want to see AC/DC with Axl. It's, yeah, it's a tough subject. I mean, for me, there's two interesting things about it. The funny thing that I can't wait to see is what happens when he's going on stage on time with AC/DC, and then he comes back to Guns N' Roses, and he wants to go on at midnight, you know, and it's sort of this awkward threesome where they're going, you know, hey, you know, you didn't do that with us, you know, how come you don't go on time with us? And so that ought to be interesting. But the other thing, and obviously I'm praying that whether you like Axl filling these dates or not, somebody must have thought, hey, what happens if Axl goes and does all these dates with AC/DC, and he's got to sing those songs, you know, way up in the stratosphere like Brian Johnson? You know, what if he blows his voice out and he comes back and the whole Guns N' Roses tour gets canceled? I mean, somebody must have thought of that.
Have you been reading my website? Because I literally wrote both of those points right after Axl got announced as the replacement for Brian Johnson. I kid you not, I literally wrote both of those points on a piece on my site on how Axl being in AC/DC is more of a problem than a solution going forward. And both the points you brought up were points I I hit on, man. Have you been following me and I don't realize it?
Yes, well, I like that you and I think the same, because it's funny with that band, GNR. There's still danger to it, and there's still drama that surrounds it. So you can't help but think about things like that because there's always something happening with that band, and even after all these years, and everybody's so excited that they're playing again. There still could be, I think people are going to be on the edge of their seats wondering what's going to happen when Axl comes back. Will he be able to still sing? Will he burn his voice out? Will he go on time? Will he ever come back? I mean, there's a lot that could happen.
It's the truth, man, and I've got my tickets for the show at MetLife Stadium, and I look at it either it's going to be one hell of a night, or I'm going to get a refund about a week before. One or the other is going to happen for sure, and, well, let's just face facts. You might be a metalhead if you're worrying about the future of Guns N' Roses and their reunion tour. How's that for a swing back around to your book?
Well, yes, we'll have to put that in part 2 for sure, and give you full credit, of course. But yeah, there's probably a whole book about Guns N' Roses, just based around that band and all the different versions of it and all the crazy stuff that's happened over the years with them. But for the sake of the fans, and I'm one of them, let's hope everything works out. Axl realizes his dream of singing with his favorite band, at least for a short time, and then he comes back and makes everything right with the Guns fans.
Exactly. Well, I'll be there. No ifs, ands, or buts as long as the show happens. Don, I know you got a lot to do promoting this epic book. You Might Be A Metalhead. Available now everywhere to buy your music. Don, before I go, I gotta ask, because, like, I asked Eddie and I ask anyone that comes on with a book, what are the chances of a sequel for you guys?
Well, you've already given me one joke for the next book, so I'm already on my way. So I would say chances are pretty strong, and there'll definitely be a part 2. With any book, a lot of stuff gets edited out, so I'm already kind of halfway there on the second one, and so far the love from everybody's been there, so definitely we'll do another one. When the time is right, I'm going to do another stand-up CD, hopefully to be out, towards the end of the year or early next year. So I'm going to concentrate on that for the next few months, and hopefully the next time I call in, I'll also have some news for you on that metal show and potentially a new home.
Well, I'm always here for the support and everything that you do, and we're all waiting, anxiously waiting for the return of that metal show. Everyone go get You Might Be A Metalhead from Don Jamieson and Joe Bartnick. Don, as always, give me a song to play for our listeners. As a fellow metalhead, I have it on almost anything. So give me something that you want to hear and let the listeners hear as well.
Well, I guess since we're just talking about it, something from Guns or AC/DC would probably be a good way to go out.
Let's do something from both. I'll go into some Guns N' Roses right now. We'll go classic Guns right now. Welcome to the Jungle, and then we'll follow that up with some AC/DC here inside the Asylum.